Hello there, everybody. I'm mrgameandpie, and welcome back to Let's Play Kirby 64. Last time, we went through the majority of Aqua Star, and, we got all the Crystal Shards along the way, and this time we're going into the final level of Aqua Star, which is quite the level. As you saw in the background there, there's this big, diamond-shaped spaceship. And, it's actually not the first time this spaceship has appeared in the Kirby series. It also appeared in Kirby's Dream Land 3, where there was a level revolving around it. Except there, the spaceship was a little bit different. This spaceship is going to be basically a regular level. You know, pretty standard stuff, but in Dream Land 3, it was quite a unique level among the bunch. It's, you would enter the spaceship, and there would be a little bit of spaceship that you were forced to go through. And then you would exit the spaceship again, go through some sand dunes, and then that would be it. That would be the level. But if you wanted to get the Heart Star of the level, the collectible for that game, you would have to do a variety of challenges within the pyramid to collect pieces of Rob the Robot, who you might recognize from Smash Bros, or from the fact that he was one of the major selling points of the original Nintendo Entertainment System. And the challenges presented in the Dream Land 3 pyramid, it never came out of the ground, so we never actually got to see it as a big diamond spaceship, so it was just a pyramid back then. One of the major elements of it was, most of the challenges actually use the various animal partners' abilities to their maximum effect, which isn't something that Dreamland 3 typically did. Dreamland 3 mostly made the animal helpers more of an optional thing in that game. So, the ability that I just got is Bomb and Spark, and it allows you to turn into a light bulb. So, we need to remember Cloud, Moon, Tree. That outline is drawn here. Or painted, I suppose. So let's see here. Cloud. Where is Cloud? There's Cloud from Final Fantasy VII. And then Moon. And then Tree. By pressing down those correct switches, we have created our Crystal Shard. So, most of the Kirby games up to this point have had some sort of light ability. The actual light ability from Kirby's Adventure, Kind Spark from Kirby's Dream Land 2, Kind Spark again from Kirby's Dream Land 3. Both of those made Kind create a light bulb in his mouth. And, now we have Bomb Spark. And a lot of people give Bomb Spark, they don't think that it's very good. But that's mostly because I guess they just don't realize that you're just invincible while in this form. Well, okay. You can't exactly fight mini-bosses that effectively with it. But to regular enemies, you just run right through them. And it's not a problem at all. Also, the effect of your damage is at least far enough around you so that you can still fight mini-bosses. You just have to avoid jumping straight into them. Oh. So these guys are, I think they're new. They're kind of annoying, so you jump onto these poles here, and then they'll spawn, and then they'll try to ram into you and damage you. They're more of a nuisance than anything else. Ah, hamsters. Just a single star. That's not helpful. Alright, and already onto a boss battle. So yeah, this is definitely one of the more memorable boss battles in the game. This is Pix. Yes, there we go. So this beginning of the boss battle, we can't actually damage Pix at all. This is a survival stage. Pix is going to have these little energy spear sword things that it sends at you. And as the battle goes on, there will be more Pix, and they'll have different attack patterns. So the first one, we had to jump over it. Now we have to time it as it spins through the platform. And pretty soon, we're going to have a third Pix in a third attack phase. The fact that you never quite know when they're going to be changing their direction can be a little bit of an issue, because you'll dodge in a way that you suspect that they'll actually... Oh, yeah, there we go, it just happened. I didn't suspect that it was going to be changing direction right there, and I wasn't ready to adapt to it right then. Alright. So now we've gone through its survival stage, and we've reached the top of the big diamond spaceship. I'm actually not going to be fighting it with my copy ability, and instead, I'll be tossing that aside. And the thing about picks here is that there's these little multicolored atom molecule-looking things, and to do maximum damage, you have to hit the various picks section with the correct molecule. You'll also notice that these various sections here are slightly tinted with different colors. And so this platform is slightly tinted red, and so it will always generate a red molecule piece. And this one is slightly tinted blue, so it'll always generate blue. And yeah, as you do damage to the various sections, they'll each be destroyed, and the boss will become easier and easier to dodge, until it's just completely destroyed. There we go, not a problem. Even though I actually did take, like, 3 damage there. Kirby does not like traveling through a desert. He's really seeing things now. Fortunately, Adeline has an idea. You don't have to worry about starving in a desert as long as you have somebody that can paint anything. As long as they still have paint, I suppose. But this rest stop isn't to last. It's time to move on to a new star and a new climate altogether. It's Aqua Star. Looking like a big old raindrop. So yeah, we have our water world here. Who would have guessed? Oh, that's bad. I might actually die. What a strange concept. Oh hey, yeah, I mentioned earlier that Bronto Bird allows you to jump super high. And there you go, that was it. Also, sometimes whenever you throw enemies, they'll have special ways of being thrown. Like Bronto Bird there, whenever I threw it, it started flying straight forward. It's a little bit different than how you normally throw things. Let's see, I could get the stone ability from those volcano enemies. And Stone Fire actually does create a volcano power-up, but it's not good, so no. I might just keep single fire, or single fireball, or single burning for now. All of those have been used to describe this particular copy ability. Although I suppose using the fire ability in a water area might not be the wisest decision. Not that elemental affinities have really mattered a whole lot throughout the Kirby games before. Let's see, I'm pretty sure that we got a, yep, we got one of these up here. Not a difficult Crystal Shard to obtain. Yeah, these little green guys, they appeared a lot in Dreamland 3, and they launched to all sorts of places there, too. But I feel like they're going to be used much more effectively in this game than they were there. Oh, this is an ability that I have to show off. So, Fire and Ice. What do you get when you combine Fire and Ice? Something completely useless. I mean, I guess I did just defeat something with it, but it's not an optimal copy ability. I guess it's sort of a shield ability, except it's completely terrible. Yeah, there are a couple joke abilities like that in the game, but we do actually need a version of the ice ability here soon. Also, hey, check it out, it's the ice ability, the single ice ability. You get Ice Breath, but unlike most instances of the Ice Breath in previous games, this Ice Breath attacks all around you. Though that said, we're actually going to combine Ice with Bomb to create the Snowman ability. Yep, Kirby sets a bomb on his head, and now he's a snowman, and he blows up. The direct impact against enemies will instantly defeat them, but if the enemies are simply caught in the explosion, then, well, they'll actually get put on ice. So that's pretty cool. Though the explosion doesn't tend to be big enough to really be too effective. Also, the fact that Kirby is stunned a little bit every time he explodes makes the copy ability a little bit inconvenient, since you have to keep stopping every time you use it. I mean, you have to stop every time you start it up and every time you actually hit something with it. So that's not good. Oh, and then there's these guys. So yeah, you have to actually wait until you explode to hit a mini-boss with it. I guess we could just stand down here. These needless enemies don't actually do anything to you. Wait, can I just... Nope, I can't detonate it early. Yeah, they only start moving around and trying to spike you if you're above them. So if you get on their level, they don't really do anything. Yeah, see? The moment that I get above them, they start moving around. Oh, thank goodness, it's Adeline. And she has a maximum tomato for us, just what I needed. Alright. So hey, yeah, it's these sections again, except instead of just having fish down there, they also have some of the cutter enemies. The kappas, I believe that they're called. Based on the Japanese mythological creature, the kappa. Alright, so here's why I got Bomb Ice. We have to use this. It's blue and black, and Bomb Ice is blue and black, so yep, that all matches up correctly. Perfect. Now I can just toss this ability away. Maybe we can grab a Spark ability again. Maybe we can grab a double Spark ability. This creates a giant shield around you, although unfortunately this shield is less reliable. It has a tendency of not actually destroying things. Like that! There, right there. It just decided to not destroy that thing right then all of a sudden. Also, you can still move, and, yeah, at its minimum, it's still as big as the original Spark ability at its maximum size. Alright, let's try to get that card over there. I think this will work. Yes! Good! A lot of people say that the double Spark ability breaks the game, but due to its inconsistency, that's not really something that I consider. Now, here we see something that, you know, I was kind of talking about a little bit earlier, back in the first episode of the series. This game has a tendency of really messing with its thematics a lot, mixing things up as it were. You know, you expect a water world to be all beaches and maybe some underwater sections, but this level is going to be waterfall-based, so that's pretty cool. It still deals with water, just in a completely different context. And basically all of the levels in this game do that. Every level takes the core thematic and puts a new spin on it. So, you know, the first level we had a grassland level, then we had a big forest level, then there was a castle level, and all but the last level have to do with, you know, the standard greeneries that you might expect at the beginning of a game, but they all take it in different directions. Rockstar had a desert, it had ruins, it had a cave system, and then it had a spaceship, and those are all pretty different concepts. And here, you know, we had our previous level, which had some water in it, but now we have a rapids level. And here in the near future, we're going to have other thematics that deal with water. Alright, so this ability, it's pretty cool. The Fire Bomb ability is a fireworks ability. Oh no, I'm actually going to not be able to do this here. Yeah, if you'll recall, I mentioned that there was a Firestone ability that I didn't like very much. But I'm going to need it right here. So we'll have to come back to this level a little bit later, but fortunately this is super early in this level, so that shouldn't be too bad. Alright, so now we see even more waterfalls, and we see Waddle Dee helping in this level. So yeah, here we go. We're going to ride down the rapids. Isn't that cool? This is going to be Waddle Dee's most interesting usage. You know, I guess most partners tend to help you out in two different ways. Waddle Dee typically helps by either creating some sort of vehicle like this, or finding some sort of hidden passageway like he did back in Rockstar, by opening up the ceiling of one of those ruins. And Dee, we already saw one of the ways that he could help us is by riding on him. And I'm pretty sure in the next level we'll be able to see the other way in which he tends to help. And Adeline, we already saw both ways in which she can help. By either painting you food or extra lives, or by painting you a solution to a puzzle. Alright, ooh, invincibility. The invincibility theme for this game is completely different than what it usually is. Which, I mean, that's acceptable. Also, unlike most invincibilities, this can actually allow you to run straight through, like, blocks and stuff, so that's pretty cool, too. Oh, here we go. Don't get too carried away in your invincible rampage to ignore the thing back there. Yeah, people like the fireworks ability a lot because you can just sort of bounce along while carrying your momentum as always. You get 3 whole bounces before you have to land again. It can act as sort of a triple jump. And yeah, it has a lot of effective range as well. It's definitely one of the better abilities in the game, that's for sure. Though not exactly one of my personal favorites. I mean, look at this. This waterfall section, you know, normally you're going to have to be fighting against the waterfall and stuff, and it'll slow you down and all. But thanks to the fireworks ability, we don't really have to deal with that, because we just constantly stay in the air by bouncing along. It's pretty great. Oh, be a little bit patient there. And yeah, Kirby's flight, though limited, is still quite helpful here. And there we go. That's the end of that level. Ah, I just barely missed that card. Alright, so I'm going to go back and grab that one Crystal Shard again. I'll see you there in a second. Alright, so there was a stone enemy at the very near the beginning of the level, on a bridge, and a fire enemy just on the outside of this room. So now it's time to see the fire stone ability in action. And it's okay. It's kind of awkward to aim, but I mean it works, I guess. And there we go. That is another level complete. So gang, with that said, I'm mrgameandpie, and that's the end of this episode. Make sure to check out my social media links down in the description, and maybe consider checking out my Patreon and supporting me so I can make more episodes like this. Until then, see you next time!